Live from the Las Vegas studio, coming at you in Southwest Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Brad Stein. Welcome to Bettor Center Live. You can watch us on LouisDiamond.com. Also, check out YouTube at Louis Diamond. Today, we have two pro handicappers here to make us some money from the East Coast, from the West Coast to the Southeast, all the way to the Mideast. We have handicappers all over joining the show daily. Today, we have some college football, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and Major League Baseball to dissect. Plus, later, our handicappers will give you their most interesting play of the day. Now, let's not waste time. Let's introduce those two boys waiting to get on the show. You know him as Louis D. We call him Louis Diamond, and also Tony Gullidge. Welcome to the show, boys. Yesterday, we had three winners on the show, two losers. Our winners were, congratulations, Louis, Tony, and Ross. Losers, better luck next time, Dell and Chip. The Milwaukee Bucks or the Lakers getting smoked by Houston in game number 1 of the NBA playoffs?
Probably the bigger upset in there would probably be Milwaukee. It's a gag. 40-13 fourth quarter in a must-win playoff scenario. That's the best you can produce. You go from a double-digit lead to a humiliating double-digit loss in the span of about 8-9 minutes of game time. It was I would be completely concerned if I was a franchise owner looking at, that's my star player. This is the cast I have around him, and this is what they're able to do with everything on the line. It was just a terrible performance, and certainly probably the bigger upset of those two games.
Louis D, does Giannis Antetokounmpo leave in free agency when he's able?
I don't know if I'm the right guy to ask that question to. I don't. I'm in the handicapping world, I'm not following the vaccines too much. I'm looking at what's going on here today, and right now I got to agree with Tony here. Milwaukee falling apart the way they did, that really wasn't expected at the end there. So I got to say Milwaukee. Lakers. They come out flat a ton of times. That's not that shocking.
In game 1, did it against Portland. All right, guys, I know you're itching to get to game 1. College football, it's here. It's Saturday morning. Eastern Kentucky against Marshall, -24 for Marshall. 52.5 is the over-under. Louis D, what looks interesting in this game?
Well, I guess if you got to look at anything in this game, you don't get much information, but the information I do have leans towards Marshall at home goes over. So I would think that in a mismatch like this, Marshall's probably going to play their game, play it their way. Don't know if I want to lay the wood. I certainly don't like the underdog, but I got a small little lean on the over in this play.
All right, Tony.
This game is not one I would personally bet on. I've got my game. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure, soon. On this game, if I had to give you an opinion, I would not make a bet here, but I would lean over the total. I think there's going to be some points. I think Marshall's going to be able to score, and I think Eastern Kentucky might sneak a couple in. The over's probably the play I would make if I made a bet here.
All right, guys, game number 2, Middle Tennessee. The over-under is 56. Army is giving up 4 points. We'll start with you, Tony.
Yeah, this is my game today.
I know it is.
This is basically a rescheduled game. Both teams had to scrap their schedule. That's the way this is going right now. So essentially, this 18 days ago they decided they're going to play this game today. So if you're Middle Tennessee, this is a team a couple years ago that had a coach's son quarterback. They had an opportunistic defense, and they won a lot of games. They were a surprising team. I was on them. I backed them, and it was a good community, feel-good story in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. So they lose the quarterback's son as the quarterback. The defense falls off. Last year, I think they were like 110th in defense. Just horrid defense. You look down the list of games, they gave up 200-plus yards rushing to everyone. All right, so their defense is terrible. So imagine having 18 days to get your bad defense prepared to face the option of Army that averages 300 rushing yards a game. So I think, both teams have the short preparation time here, but I think the advantage goes to Army because it's going to be much easier for them to prepare. They were going to play Oklahoma, so they're going to go from preparing to play, getting their teeth kicked in by Oklahoma. Now they're playing Middle Tennessee State. I think everything the military preparedness. They're going to be more disciplined. They're going to have the shorter time frame. They're going to be ready. They've got two big fullbacks. I think they're just basically going to run Middle Tennessee off the field, and I'm calling it 35-20 Army. My first big solid play of the season. I just like this spot. I didn't take any other college football game today. I like this one so much. So go.
All right. Louis Bag of Diamonds. Do you agree with what Tony said?
Well, I can't disagree with him at all, except for a few trends, that Army, I think they've only covered 3 of their last 7 games and or 3 of their last 10 games to end the season last year. But everything Tony said really makes sense in this matchup. I really had no opinion in this game. Now I do. And I got to say, I like Tony's opinion. And I could follow him here, I followed Ross yesterday after he talked about the Seattle game. We'll get to that when we get to baseball. So I follow Tony. I think he's on to something here.
Thank you for game 1 and game 2. We're going to take a TO here. We're going to go to Tony Cusimano, the man on the street, somewhere live in Texas.
As far as today's business, I am at Texas State University here, Bobcat Stadium, as you can see behind me here, and some of the kids are out there running around. Texas State University, San Marcos, Texas. We've got a big game here on Saturday, the American Athletic Conference, AAC conference here. SMU comes to town as a 22-point favorite. I did speak with some of the coaches here at Texas State. We're looking at they've got a run game in plan here to kind of slow down and kind of control the clock here against SMU. The reason I bring that up with you guys is because obviously the over and under is 70.5. That's the current line, and about 48 hours ago, maybe 72 hours ago, that line was over and under 70. So we see it's ticking up, but for everyone at Bettor Center there, I really like the under in this game. We've got a running game planned here with the Texas State Bobcats. Also, we've got a new quarterback transfer from Memphis. Brady McBride is going to be the quarterback for Texas State as he takes over for the incumbent. So he beat him out here in the, I guess you could say summer training camp, summer workout. But just to throw another 2 cents into this game, I think you're going to see you're not going to see all of the Pistons, cylinders clicking, if that makes any sense. So you're going to see a lot of rusty football here, missed passes, missed catches. I mean, this is the first game. It's obviously, behind schedule, and with everything that's been going on, obviously with the coronavirus and COVID-19. Just to throw one other quick note in around the college football scene, a topic obviously is hopefully the president has met with the Big Ten Conference athletic director. Let's see what's going to happen there. Hopefully we will have some more college football on the board. But with that, I'll throw it back to you, Lewis, and the guys back at the studio. Your thoughts on this game? I really love the under here at Texas State this Saturday. SMU, again, a 22-point favorite. That one there, that's a tough call. Like you said earlier, any team that you could play for, you don't want to bet the side on them. And I'll leave it at that.
Right.
Back to you, Lou. What do you think? Over.
Thank you, Tony C., the man on the street, live in Texas. Let's go to game number 3. We're going to bring back our 2 handicappers, Mr. Tony Gullidge and Louis Bag of Diamonds. Game 3, SMU minus 23.5 at Texas State with an over-under 70. Let's start with Louis D. What are your thoughts for this game?
Listen, I pay Tony to go out there and find me the information that we need to make money, and that's what he did this week. I think he's got us a nice little nugget that that the running game is going to be the effort for Texas State, and they do have a quarterback that could possibly keep them on the field a lot longer than than SMU would like them to be. And SMU, big favorite. They don't really cover the spread, laying them points. So I'm not really expecting a big blowout, but we really don't want to put our money on Texas State. They don't have, a big supporting cast, and they are going to try to run the ball. I don't know how long it's going to work for, but I think it's going to work long enough for it to be an under. So this is, if you look at the plays that I offer, the executive club plays, the highest tier play. This is my first executive club college football play of the season. So if you were a paying client of mine right now, this play would have been a $500 price tag. So I'm showcasing this one today. I think we got some good information. I think you should take advantage of it. Hopefully you took advantage of what happened yesterday.
All right, well, I'm going to take advantage of it. What about you, Tony?
That insightful reporting yesterday, or getting the on-site report. I really, on a normal circumstance, I wouldn't pay this game 2 licks of attention, but considering he's there with the information, the under makes sense here. Based on if SMU doesn't hit the 69 themselves, I think it's probably a safe bet to think this game would go low. So I'm going to agree with everyone else here. That's not much fun, lack of controversy, but I'm going to go the game under the total.
Thanks. Well, we'll stick with you because we're going to go to the hard floor in the NBA playoffs. We have the Raptors, Celtics -1.5. The over-under is 213. Is anything interesting in this game, Tony?
Toronto had to get the win. I mean, they had to get the win, and they did somehow get the win. I tell you what, I'm going to be, before the series, it's almost like a chess game to me, trying to think of how I think these series are going to play out. I thought Toronto was going to win this series, a tough 6 or 7 game series. They didn't look like it was going to happen, but now with one miracle shot in half a second, they're back in the series. I think Toronto's going to take advantage of this second win. Somebody's going to get hot. Lowry did better in this past game. They really haven't clicked all together where Lowry and Van Fleet and Norman and Siakam are all hitting shots at the same time. I think you might see that today. I'm going to play Toronto to get this win and tie the series up.
Yeah, not only was it an amazing shot, but it was one of the greatest passes that I've seen in a long time. Louis Bag of D, you have to have an opinion on this game.
Well, I seen the game go under every time that they've played so far in the playoffs. 6 out of the last 8 have gone under, and it's a tough, grueling. They're close games. So I got to believe that the under still prevails here again today. Tough call aside here. Boston's pretty much covered, but so it's tough to go against that. And just going to roll with the under though on this play as far as my pick.
All right, Louis. What about the Nuggets and Clippers? -8.5 Clippers. Nuggets got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah, and and it showed pretty well. And I don't think that I don't think that they're going to have what it's going to hang with these Clippers right now. And I know it's easy to say that after the big foul, but at the end of the day, they can walk over. I just think it's just too big of a challenge for them. I think that I don't know if I want to lay the 8.5 points, but I certainly don't want to take Denver. I actually kind of lean towards the Clippers probably in another blowout. Denver has been an over team. Clippers a little bit to the over. So, but the under has prevailed the last 56 times that they've played. 38 times the game has gone under. So you got to give an edge towards the history to the under. But
you're 15 minutes into the show.
Really do something here today. I think they're going to struggle.
The great white capper. Can the Nuggets prevent a blowout? 8.5 points
so.
They're getting.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a more competitive. I think this is the classic NBA playoff scenario. It was an old timer, man. This was 25, 30 years ago. It was somebody probably twice my age, old gambler in a deli, that used to tell me this axiom about always look to play the opposite of what you saw in the first game and the second game. And I think this is like the exact scenario that old timer was telling me about. And I've watched it over the years since he's told me. Amazing how those old guys are full of wisdom, especially something like this. And once they tell it to you, you follow it and you realize, you know what, they're onto something. And I think the play here is to take the Nuggets. Like you get Murray, you're going to get Jokic. One of these guys will get them in, and late in the game, they'll be close enough. You have two scenarios here where Denver can cover. Either they play well and they stay within the number, perhaps compete to win the game, or they fall so far behind that the Clippers call off the dogs and you get the 10-0 late run in the last 3 minutes to duck under the number. So between those
Going
two
with the zigzag theory.
yeah, I'm going to go back.
The zigzag's been around a long time. There's no doubt, and it's it
right.
is an NBA theory.
And I'm going to, because of the old zigzag, I'll take the Nuggets today.
The zigzags, the zigzag, they wouldn't have a name for it if it really didn't work. So I will give you that. Props for that one.
We're going to zigzag right here on Bettor Center Live. We're going to go to Major League Baseball, boys. The Padres, over-unders 9 against the A's, minus 110. Tony, what are your thoughts?
Well, I tell you, I'm looking to make sure
we need to go to Big Red.
Okay, yeah, they still got Mania. Initially, I thought maybe Fears was going to start today. They got Mania starting. I would say, for me, I'm not going to bet this game, but I would go under the total. I think you're going to see less runs today. Two competent teams. The compete is, I don't know, really not a strong opinion, but under would be where I would go if I put my money on this game.
Okay. Louis Bag of Diamonds, any different thoughts?
Well, it's tough to play against Oakland at home, and you got them at a choice, but San Diego is definitely, pretty much an even team to Oakland. So I'm going to give a little edge to Oakland. They're 13-5 at home this year, but they've been a strong home team for the last 3 years, and in their little quest of a comeback. And so I'm going to give a little edge to Oakland, but not much, not too much.
You know what? With that thought right there, let's go back. Let's do game number 7. We have the Marlins at the Rays, minus 240. 7.5 is over under. Tony, since you guys are still here, Louis D. Tony, what are your thoughts? Marlins and Rays with the minus 240.
Yeah, that line's way too high. We had Tampa yesterday in what I thought was going to be a good pitching matchup. And I just said, don't step in front of the bus or you'll get run over. And Tampa was a winner. You know, the bus kept rolling. It was a competitive game, but Tampa Bay won here. I think you might see much of the same. Alcantara had a layoff. Yeah, now he had one game. This is his second back from that. So you always maybe expect a little rust on the first. So I would think Alcantara is going to give his probably best pitching performance he can give here in this spot. But I wouldn't take him, and I wouldn't bet against Tampa Bay. I really don't see any value to make a play here. But I do note that Tampa is the most on-fire baseball team out there, and you look for every opportunity you can to bet on them. Today just isn't the day to take them.
But I think today is a day to use them. And another parlay. I'm going to be rolling with Tampa Bay. This is how you take advantage of these games. These favorites, guys, you try to find them and tie them up into a parlay. We hit a nice 3-teamer last night with the Dodgers, the Knights, and the White Sox. I'm going to be coming at you with Tampa Bay with a few more other teams in my most interesting play of the day.
All right, gentlemen, coming up next, we have another man on the street. Where is he? Who is he? And what is he going to say? That is next. You are watching Bettor Center Live.
Listen, I'm at beautiful Saratoga. It should be bustling. The track should be packed right now. What world are we in? It's September and we're having the Kentucky Derby. Saratoga is closing their meet and it's empty here. But let's take a look at the Derby. There's some things I wanted to point out with the bettors out there that hopefully as you're having your mint julep and we're cashing some tickets, some insight to help you along the way. All right, this is the first Derby that I can remember where all the quality of the race is on the outside. 15, 16, 17, and 18, of course, with 'Tis the Law, that's where all the quality is in this race. Everything inside, you might think are throwaway horses. Majority of them are. I want you to take a close look at the 2-horse. You have to use this horse. Max Player in your exotic. That's how we're going to make money today. Max Player is one of only 2 horses that have gone the 1.25-mile distance. Who did he face in those 1.25-mile distances? 'Tis the Law. He was closing into Tiz the Law, who had better posts. Let's reverse the roles today. And this is the other point I wanted to get to. The gate that they come out of, first year this is, no auxiliary gate. It's one big gate for these 17 horses. Normally 20, they're down to 17. You got to tack extra distance on, we've been told, because it's one large gate. They've built it out farther. So if you're coming out of the 17 post, you're actually coming out of the 20 post. That's a substantial amount of ground. I'm not saying Tiz the Law is not going to win. When you look at this race, it breaks down to, I think, 3 horses, to be honest with you. Tiz the Law, the 18 horse Authentic. Authentic is going to be hard to catch. All right, so if we want to make some money today, you're using those 2 horses on top. Let's do a trifecta. The 17 Tiz the Law and Authentic for 1 and 2, and you're putting Max Player third. The bomb at 25 or 30 to 1. That's going to be overlooked. This horse can handle the distance. He can handle the competition. He's got an advantageous post. He's going to let horses bypass him and then make his sweeping charge to round out those exactas. I'm also going to give you one better because I'm in a great mood today. I'm going to give you a superfecta. With the 17 on top, Tiz the Law, the 18 Authentic second, the 16, the other quality horse in the field, Honor AP. This horse is bred to go the distance. 0 issues with that out of AP Indy. This horse will be lane tracking 3rd or 4th. And your 4th horse for your superfecta is, again, the horse I've mentioned before, Max Player. All right, so that's what you want to key. You want to use those 3 horses on the outside and round out your exotics with Max Player on the back end, guys. Let's enjoy some mint juleps. Let's cash, and let's have some fun.
Welcome back to Bettor Center Live. Of course, it's on LouisDiamond.com and also YouTube at Louis Diamond. Game number 8, everyone has opinion on. It's the Yankees, right, Louis D? Minus 250 at the Orioles with a 9 over under. Lou?
Well, I gave you 2 winners yesterday with the overs in both games. I'm going to do it with you again today, and we're going to play that game over. How do you not play it over? I know the Yankees and over parlay. Those you would have split out with yesterday, but you still made some money with that. But at the end of the day, the straight bet was the over because you're not laying the $1.70, and they both hit. And I got to imagine it's going to hit again today. So why back off of it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Tony G. Tony G, are you fixing it?
I guess the over's the play here. These are just games I don't bet, man. This is like literally, when I first go down the rotation every morning, or at night, the overnight lines, I immediately go through and I scratch about half the games off, like my first initial go through. And it's typically these minus 250, 300 games, unless there is something just jumping off the page at me. This would be a game I wouldn't even consider, but the obviously going over what seems like the right side to be on. I have no value at all playing the Yankees, but the over and over and over again, I can make a case for playing this game over. Certainly, I agree with that.
All right, Reds minus 135, Pirates 9.5 is the over under. Tony, since you kept talking, keep going.
All right, Reds, De Sclafani. These ERAs and these pitchers. Trevor Williams, this is the proverbial garbage can game. And if I was a homeless guy and I had the garbage can lid up and I was scrounging through the remnants in the dumpster looking for something to eat, I would see this game and I would go, yes, this is the garbage can game. The line is, what have we got for a line here? 145, 140.
Opened up at 135,
to be contrarian here, I'd say play this game under. The numbers on these pitchers are dumpster fires. They look like garbage. And just because it would look like an easy over, I would take the under.
Louis,
Okay.
the under.
The contrarian garbage can play, take the under in the Reds Pirates.
Yeah,
Louis, is the under the right play?
The only thing I have for you in this game is, the Pirates have kind of owned them a little bit. But other than that, let's just go to the next game. There's not much here to be betting on. So,
Game 10, net. Okay, no problem. Game 10, Chicago Sox minus 225. Royals 9 over under. Anything interesting in that one?
I tell you what, it's
absolutely.
It's going to be my most interesting play. I can talk about it now just to fill you in. I think the value here is going to be on the run line. Take the White Sox on the run line. And I had all my little information pulled up just to tell you that, talking about Giolito was the starter for the White Sox today. A couple starts ago, he peaked, throwing a no-hitter. But if you notice, even the start before the no-hitter, he went 7 strong innings, dominated, only gave up 3 hits, no runs. But his last start, he wasn't as good, but the White Sox still won. So key in on that. Giolito peaked with the no-hitter, then had the start where he tailed off a little bit, okay? So now we expect him, he took the deep breath. Now he's ready to get back to work. So I expect him to have a good start today. Put that in combination with the fact that this starter for Bubic for the Royals are 0-6 in this guy's start. They've lost every game. The thing with the Royals is they just don't hit. And when you got a pitcher with a 1.6 whip and you've lost all 6 of his starts, it just doesn't look good. The value here, I got it at minus 140. I think it's creeped up to about 150, which is the maximum I would ever recommend. But I think in Major League Baseball today, this is your best value. This is a game you should probably make sure you get some action on. Take the Chicago White Sox on the run line with Giolito against Bubic, and I think you're going to be happy with the results when this game's over.
Louis D.
I agree. But I will be using that in a second leg of my parlay and my most interesting play of the day. So we got Tampa Bay and the White Sox so far. Let's continue.
All right, well, we're out of time. I just needed the most interesting play of the day. We just got it. Anything else to add, Louis D?
Yeah, well, there's 2 more plays that you need to add in here. Number 1 would be the LA Dodgers once again. And you can make fun of me all you want, but they win against the Rockies at home at a 75% clip. I'm on it. I'm finding ways to play it. And that's how I'm playing it today. That's the 3rd leg of my most interesting play of the day. And the 4th leg will be the Minnesota Twins. And look for a 4-teamer. We hit a nice 3-teamer yesterday. Paid you better than 2.5 to 1 or so. Today we're getting you over 3 to 1 on a nice 4-teamer. And also, I got a solid baseball play going, another executive game. So why don't you give me a call, 877-711-9467, or just text over to free winner to 90210, and we'll talk about a solid baseball winner tonight.
Well, thank you to both of you. Louis Diamond at louisdiamond.com. That's how you can watch Bettor Center live. Also on YouTube at Louis Diamond. Of course, the Great White Capper. Thank you to both of you gentlemen. And a special thanks goes out to the director from Spotlight Film Productions, Eugene. Thank you for keeping us on air. And remember, guys, if you don't play, you can't win. Bettor Center Live will catch you every day, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.